Hi, Ben Lyons back with you here to talk to you about stage two in our wealth creation journey. So again, in our course and our really our path, this is more than just course. So as a reminder, what Wealth Creators USA is, it's a platform where you go from education through vocation. So think of it like a financial vocational school that at the end of that process, you're actually getting hired and deploying what you learn. Now, you don't have to actually get hired and go work in these strategies. But phase two, I'm going to recap. So phase one was financial foundational basics. It gave you the financial knowledge, the terminology, and the foundational tools to understand how to navigate all the things we're talking about really in stage two. Stage two goes into much more advanced strategies on how you're going to apply everything that you learn into an executable path. So for example, the goal of stage two is to have 500,000 a year of total income coming in, where you've got plenty of investable income to deploy into the acquisition of assets, ultimately to achieve a target of $10 million of asset acquisition. So this is really the roadmap that you should be on. You can set your own roadmap, but this is the roadmap of what this coursework is all about. So really, what is stage two? It's nothing more than the wealth creation formula, which is, hold on, let me grab my book here. For those of you who have read Word of Wealth, most of this book is about the wealth creation formula, which is really the tenet for which this whole philosophy exists. But the wealth creation formula is based on four variables. Let me put this book away. Variable one is the solution around investable income. For example, if you made 60 grand a year, it would be very challenging for you to become wealthy because there likely wouldn't be a lot of money left over. So we need to figure out how to scale that income and create this investable income. And in the coursework, we want to be able to scale it to 500,000. Now, I understand many of you might be thinking, Ben, you're nuts. So no worries. We'll talk about that later. Variable B is the acquisition of assets. So whether you're going to acquire real estate assets or you're going to acquire other assets, we set a target of acquiring $10 million of assets. Not to belabor the point here, but the goal is to get to $10 million in asset value that ultimately is paid off. So in order to get to a $10 million net worth, it'd be great to have $10 million of assets where there's no debt on it. An asset can also be a small business. An asset can certainly be stocks, bonds, can be mortgage assets, but it's not just real estate. What the variable B is, it's about understanding how to create $10 million in asset value. Variable C and D really are tools that are used within the solution to achieve variable A. So how do we get to this 500,000? Well, we use leverage. How do we get to this 10 million? Well, we use leverage. And examples of leverage, we all use leverage. Everybody uses leverage, but most common is we leverage money. We certainly leverage money to acquire assets, but we also leverage money, for example, if we're going to start a business, and that's our path to our 500,000, we're going to leverage money. The other is people. For example, if we are, let's say we are in the real estate, no, let's not use real estate. Let's say we sell insurance. The question is, can we work enough in our own time to achieve 500,000, or do we need to hire other people and start leveraging them and making money off of their efforts? Then the last is time. What I have found is that most people in the worry phase use their time very poorly. Time utilization is critical. And while variable D is really a behavioral discussion, most of these really, I don't go into a lot of behavior, but variable D talks about time. So what are you doing with your time? How are you investing your time? Really, again, wealthy people use their time much more wisely than broke people use their time. So it's the discussion about short-term time. And the second is how to deploy time in a long-term strategy. For example, compounding. Compounding over time, if you understand how the compound chart works, the longer the investment sits out there in a reinvestment strategy, the higher it grows exponentially. So time is also critical in the execution of both these variables. So this really summarizes what stage 2 of the Wealth Creators USA is all about. And in the next video, we're going to cover stage 3, which really is, okay, now that I've taken the financial basics, now that I understand in great detail the wealth creation formula, how do I now apply that? Where do I go to apply that? Before you go, I'm just going to share a quick story. My son spent 4 years in a very tough curriculum, learning how to be an engineer. At the end of the graduation, the school said, I hope you have a great life, go look for a job. Where there was no connectivity between education and vocation. So that's the difference here. We're going to take you from education through vocation. All right, we'll see you in the next video.